funny looking Gwent. Oh, the jokes are going to pour in. Barnation, don't worry, you were the first one to make it, so I'm not sick of them yet. Alright, so this is Legends of Runeterra. This is a new card game from Riot. I'm going to just jump right into a tutorial game and explain it as I'm playing it. Or versus AI or something like that. So I'll just play one of the starter decks and I'll just go for it. So if you're familiar with League of Legends, you'll know that League of Legends has a bunch of really cool champions and cool lore. I've played it a lot. I played it up until Hearthstone came out, and then I've been a card game boy ever since. And now, this is the reunion of League of Legends and card games. So this is just going to be straight up talking you through, because this is just going to be the AI game where I just talk through everything. So the first thing you're going to notice is what's different from Gwent. The main differences from Gwent, the first of all, is that you have a life total. So this game is based on combat and damaging the opponent's face. And in that case, the face is the nexus. You are destroying the opponent's nexus. You reduce the opponent's nexus health to 0 to win the game. The opposing is obviously true. It's a card game. You also have a Mulligan Phase at the beginning to replace your starting hand. Each round you draw a card. Every round you gain 1 mana. This is very similar to Hearthstone. The differences start to become more like Magic the Gathering when we get into the combat phase, and actually become very much like Gwent when it comes to actually playing cards, as your opponent can respond to everything you do. We don't want high mana cost stuff in our hand to start, so we'll just mulligan this card away, because we start off with low cost for low curve stuff. We get to start off drawing a card. Both players start, but everything is happening at the same time. No one really has that much of an advantage, especially when you get to see how the mana system works. So very simply, turn 1, round 1, 1 mana cost spell. I'm not going to use it because I wouldn't need to use this. So I'm just going to pass my turn. Normally I'd be able to attack. I'm up to bat right now in the baseball. My opponent is now going to respond. Is now going to respond to my passing by playing a card. I'm going to pass again. My opponent has no more mana, and now the round has ended. We're now in the outfield. Our opponents are up to bat. Draw a new card. We have new mana. However, we don't have an opportunity to attack anymore. Our opponent has only that opportunity this round. Much like in baseball, you can only score when you are attacking. However, that mana I didn't spend last turn, I still have it. I have up to 3 to fix my mana later. However, I can only use it for spells and not for actually casting minions. In this game, they are called followers. So in this situation, my hand is not really working for me here. Since he didn't actually play anything, I don't have a chance to respond to his attack by playing a minion, which I would. I would play Elise. But he's just going to actually hit me here. Now I can take action. My action is going to be play Elise.
There's nothing to fear.
So we would end the round here as we have no more mana. Our opponent has passed. We have played our minion, and there's nothing else for us to do. But we still have this unspent spell mana. So we actually can cast this Blade's Edge. We can cast this spell now before we have our turn start on attacking to kill his unit here. His unit has a last breath. That means it's like Death Wish. So he's going to draw a card. I'm going to do it anyway because this is an AI game and I'm just showing you guys how it works. Resolving the spell. Now this is different. This is another thing. Gets to the spells and how they work. Your opponent can respond to everything. Can you imagine in Gwent if you played a special card and your opponent could somehow respond to that? Your opponents can respond to almost everything. But there are, of course, some exceptions, as all card games have exceptions. There are spells that are so fast your opponent can't do anything. Now the round has turned over. We now have attacking priority, as it is represented by this token over here. As long as this is lit up, we can place units into the attacking zone. But we're not doing that yet. But we can anytime. We're not doing it. Before we do that, we can place more minions. There's no summoning sickness. As soon as we place a minion, we can then place it into the attacking position like this. So we have a spider here, stuns an enemy. We have no enemies to stun, so I'm not crazy about playing it. In fact, I'm not really crazy about playing these yet. I will actually just attack and not allow my opponent to respond by playing a blocker.
You won't suffer long.
But Elise also creates a spider whenever she attacks. And here comes my opponent's response. But at least I had a chance to react to it. Got...
So young.
But we still keep the spider that Elise created, and we still have more Elises. I'm just going to play this spider even though I don't have any enemy to stun. My opponent will now have a chance to react by playing a minion for 2. We'll pass instead. Round turns over, and my opponent now has 2 carryover mana. So the cool thing is if you have really, really good spells, especially spells that create followers that are expensive, you can just pass your early turns to cast them ahead of time, self-ramping within the mana system without actually having to play a ramp deck. I think that is so interesting. So interesting, just out the gate. Now we can react. Our opponent played the Affectionate Poro with the Challenger ability, which is a really strong ability. I think I'm just going to respond by playing my little, what is it, Possessed Villager here. So here comes the Affectionate Poro with Challenger. So what the Challenger can do is this Poro can choose my blocker. I actually don't have a say. He's not using that ability right now. I keep on saying he. It's a robot. They're not using this ability right now. It's not using this ability right now. So I'm just going to take the trade here and get a spider.
Please, I have connections!
So I've placed my blocker, and now attack will resolve. I always choose the block, unlike in Hearthstone, where you can choose anything you want to hit and your opponent has no actions to take at any time during your turn. This game is active all the time. We're always doing something. And now after the attack has resolved, we're still playing. We still have 3 mana to spend before the turn flips around, gives us attack priority, and refills all of our mana. We can keep this mana for carryover mana, or we can just play something like this stuff. I'm going to actually keep the carryover mana. My opponent is also just not spending mana. But you want to try to make as good use of your carryover spell mana as possible. This is cool. This is a self-sacrifice kind of thing. That's what Shadow Isles is all about, self-sacrifice. Noxus is all about face damage and like charging in and beating the crap out of you. Now let's just collect all our friends up here and just put them into the attack position. See if the opponent wants to resolve at all or play anything. Doesn't choose to, so I don't have any chance to react to anything. Here we go. Steam, the Chem Punk Shredder on play deals damage to all enemies, but this skill, I can react to this skill, which is weird. It's using the burst symbol, which should suggest that I can't react to it. The only thing I can do is kill an ally to draw 2, which I am going to do because this is going to die anyway. So I am actually going to play this right now. It's going to go on the stack and resolve before this does. Kill this ally. I get to draw 2 cards? Hot damn, that's good. 2 cards is exceptionally good. This is also a really great thing here. This is called the Oracle Eye. This shows you what's going to happen if you don't really get what's going to happen here. So look, it shows you that when the spell in the middle resolves, I'm going to lose that unit that's now, like, looks like an encased in ice. Really, really useful. It also shows me it's 1 damage to all enemies. I myself, the Nexus itself, is an enemy. You can also see the Nexus is glowing red and losing 1 health in the Oracle Eye. So this is really, really great. I'm going to let this resolve because I really can't do anything to save anybody. This is going to die. I'm going to take 1 damage. No damage is healed between rounds with minions unless they have a regeneration ability. Now it's our turn to... we've already attacked at this point. But there's nothing else that actually... I can't self-sacrifice. I'm just going to pass it. We'll turn it around. Now we're up onto 6. Alright, so this is going to kill this thing. And there's nothing we can do about that either. However, if I play... And I can't play... I can only play a burst spell in reaction. You can see that this is a slow spell, and this is a fast spell. But burst is the fastest spell. So if it's burst, only thing that can react to burst is burst. Burst can beat any fast spell. Fast can go ahead of fast. Slow, everything is faster than a slow spell. So think sorcery speed, instant speed, and then this even faster speed. That's what this is like. There's 3 spell speeds in this game, which I also find extremely interesting. Since our opponent has the attack, we would probably want to actually stun things. So we're going to play this and choose to stun one of these, which allows us to block the other one, perhaps. See, this spell, there it is, coming in. I saw 2 different symbols. So here comes the block. I can choose to block. The trade is whatever. Actually, I can respond with this. Because I had an ally attack thrown. So responding to the attack, I'm going to cast this because this is good enough. And once again, the Oracle Eye is going to show you what's going to happen in case you're confused. Also, is the overlay working? I have played a lot of Magic. Hey guys, I haven't been talking to you guys very much. I just want to get through this quick tutorial start here. So I'm still defending here, and I probably just want to get more. I want to get more things on the board. So I'm going to play this as well. Discourages my opponent from. I mean, my opponent probably would have played anything anyway. But now it doesn't matter because I get that mana back. So you're always floating mana in this game. You're always floating mana. The mana economy, and the way of like card economy and action economy. Like knowing the amount of the way this is like Gwent is just because it happens one by one. It's very rarely that you can combo 2 things at once. Okay, we got some big bad boy cards here. We're gonna play Darius, and as you can see, Darius is a 6/5 with Overwhelm, which is like trample in Magic. It goes right through the defenses and right into the face, right into the Nexus. But you'll also see the level up. Darius gets even stronger when the Nexus has 10 or less health. He becomes a 10/5 with Overwhelm. So our opponent in response has played the Eager Apprentice to have another blocker. So we're gonna collect all of our attackers here, but we want to, let's see, we want damage to resolve before Darius hits. Everything happens left to right. So we actually can make Darius level up here with our Overwhelm here. So if we play this first, the blocker is only going to have 2. So that means if we give our dude enough to overwhelm and overpower the Nexus to 10 before Darius actually attacks, he'll level up before his attack goes off. So you want to structure these in this position, very specific, and then declare the attack. We get the block. We're going to put Might and the Overwhelm on the Arachnoid Sentry. That's going to carry over the 4 damage needed to level up Darius. And Darius is going to swing in. Boom! And the game ends just like that, baby. But that's okay. That was just an AI game. Don't act impressed. Just act impressed on how well that all kind of played out. And so let's go through the regions. Or hold on. Actually, a better way to do this is only show the champions. Because the fun part about this game is building around the champions. You don't have to put... You can only put 6 champions or 6 champion cards and up to 3 copies of any card, but only 6 champion cards in total. So 3 champions with 2 copies of each, 2 champions with 3 copies of each, 6 separate champions, not recommended. You probably don't have the synergy to do it, but you could do that way. And you can only have up to 2 regions as well. So you have to pick what you want to do. Not all decks really want to use all 6 of those champion slots, but I think that the most interesting cards in the game are the champions. Each and every champion has a level up requirement that you can build your whole strategy around. Some of them work with other champions. The deck size is 40 cards. Let's go in order here. So we have Demacia. So you know Demacia because you know Garen, right? Demacia. So Garen levels up when he's struck twice. That means when he's hit anything twice. Actually physically hit it with his body in combat. And when he does that, he goes from being a 6/6 that regenerates to a 7/7 that regenerates, but I know that readying your attack is basically like gaining an extra turn. So I know that this is really good. Lux, as long as, and I love how the cards talk to you. The way they react. So in this case, it's all first person. The cards talk to you like, I do this, I do this. So in Lux's situation, I've seen you cast 6+ mana of spells in a round. However, I think she has to actually see it, as in she has to be in play. And she also has barrier, which means that when you play her, she's basically can block for free. She doesn't take any damage. The next instance of damage is blocked completely, but it goes away. And then she becomes Super Saiyan after that. Really, really strong after that. So she supports. She wants to see you do more supporting, and then she's happy. And then there's Fiora, who is got the Challenger ability where you can actually drag the blocker in front of Fiora. So Fiora is more likely to kill enemies because you don't have a choice who Fiora is blocked by. So that's what Fiora does. And then, I mean, the level up ability is the fun part. We'll get to that after. And then Lucian's awesome level up ability is that if Lucian sees 4 allies or one specific ally, his baby mama, or whatever the lore is, he goes, no! And then Senna also, it shows you everything you need to know, right? It shows you everything you need to know when you right click it. His wife. Senna also has an ability where if she sees Lucian dies, although it doesn't say if she sees it, so I think this might actually happen in hand as well, but I could be wrong. Anyway, these 2 cards, they just bonus off each other, so it's kind of like, you know, any combo stuff. So that's Demacia. Those are the nobles. And we have the Fridge Lords here, the Frey Lord. Braum is amazing. Braum blocks everything. You don't want him to block your stuff because he levels up when he does it. And then you can also attack with Braum and force people to block, so he just takes the damage anyway. And he heals it. So he's very good. Ashe is around the Frostbite mechanic. So Frostbite is, for the rest of the round, it's like Freeze Mage kind of thing. They can do stuff, but their attack is 0. You can still block and attack with it, I think, but the power is 0, so it's usually not in your benefit to do that. Unless you just need to prevent the damage from coming in. So you need to Frostbite 5 enemies for Ashe to level up, which isn't that hard because there's stuff that Frostbites a whole board. So there's ways to do that. And then there's Anivia. Anivia is super strong because every time Anivia attacks, Anivia AoEs the whole board. And when Anivia dies, Anivia will come back, and then she will be even stronger, AoEing even harder. However, it is hard for Anivia to die because Anivia can't block. However, you just have to stop this card. This card is so strong, but I haven't even gotten to Tryndamere, who is also so strong. This card is overtuned, I think. So this is why this game at 8 mana is pretty much over because of this card. If it's not over at 8, it's definitely over at 9 because of this faction on this card. So Tryndamere comes down as an 8/4 Overwhelm, and in this game you can attack when you play a minion. So 8 damage is coming to your 20 health face. And if you block Tryndamere, some of that damage is going to go through anyway. And if you kill Tryndamere, he comes back even stronger as a 9/9 who still has trample that can't be blocked. It can only be blocked by enemies with 3 attack or more. And it's tough, which is completely unnecessary. Tryndamere also takes 1 less damage from all sources, so you can't even kill him with like a number of pings. Anyway, this card is like super, super strong. Ionia. Let's talk about Ionia. So Ionia has Zed, Shen, Yasuo, and Karma. So Zed is just a really good aggro hero because when he attacks, he creates the minion. You already saw that in the stream. Shen is a really good support hero because he's giving barrier to whoever he attacks with, and he benefits from that. Yasuo is good because anything with quick attack is usually good. And you can build a whole deck around stunning and recalling enemies and just be like really control oriented. And then Yasuo gets nuts. And Yasuo starts killing everything you, I think everything you recall, he hits it. Yeah, he just hits everything you recall, so he kills everything. So Yasuo is pretty cool. And Karma, now Karma is pretty interesting. Karma is a 4/3 for 5, which is not a good rate, but has this really awesome ability where she gives you a random spell in your hand at the end of a round. This is usually not that great, and this is kind of RNG, but this is fun RNG in my opinion. Anyway, also, it levels up when you're enlightened, and you are enlightened when you have 10 mana. So there are ramp spells in the game that get you to 10, and you naturally get there. And then when Karma levels up, forget it. Now everything is copied. It's stupid. Basically, the game is over. But the point is that the game ends when the game ends quickly on purpose. I think that's very... So if you want to play aggro, the game will end quickly because you will achieve your goal in beating your opponent before they can get the mana they need to stop you. But if you're playing control, you can just win by getting to 9 mana. So I don't really feel like mid-range is really strange to me. All right, we're and then Noxus. This is my favorite faction lore-wise because I think I love Darius. I love dunking. Draven, League of Draven. This Draven and Jinx are all about discarding cards, and I kind of want to make this deck. So the spinning axe. So he first of all, Draven has quick attack, which is great, and then the spinning axe that he makes, you play it by discarding. So it facilitates discarding, your engines for discarding. And it also gives you a chance to kill stuff. And you probably have a lot of quick attack stuff, so it's just probably going to allow you to trade really well. Katarina is about leveling up very quickly. So she's supposed to level up right away. She hits once with her impossibly long torso, and then she levels up. When you play her, you get another attack phase. So Katarina is pure aggro, but she keeps coming back to hand, so you have to keep recasting her, but every time you recast her, you get a second turn. It seems kind of broken. So I don't know, that seems really strong for aggro. But I think the point is everything seems broken, because speed is weird in this game. And Vladimir's self-wound. So if you like self-wound, you're playing Vladimir. And Darius is all about aggro. You want to play Katarina and Darius together. Then we have Piltover. We have Teemo. Teemo is a very specific deck. It's a whole deck built around Teemo about putting garbage in your opponent's deck. So every time they draw or play a card, they start to die. They start to take damage. It's kind of nuts. This deck's pretty weird. I don't know anything about it, but I know it's as toxic as Teemo is in League. Ezreal is also very straight up. He's all about controlling by doing direct damage. Jinx is all about discarding cards. And Heimerdinger is another interesting, strange unit. So when you cast a spell, you get a card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8. So I think it's random. And then we have the Shadow Isles. All those tears. Yeah, I know. Teemo is the most annoying. Yeah, Teemo is the champion you love to hate, right? This'll be fun. All right, we have Elise. So Elise we saw already. So Elise is another create. It kind of creates a minion as attack, like on attack. So a swarm champion, and can level up quite easily. So she creates the spiders, and you have lots of ways you can create spiders, and then you get this thing that buffs all the spiders. So it's pretty good. Calista is an interesting one where you bond with an ally and it takes all the damage for me. So Calista is the last thing to die on the board and levels up when 3 things die. Thresh has Challenger, which is so great because he hooks it in. Thresh hooks the opponent in just like he does in League. When an enemy dies, heal me by 1, and also he wants to see a lot of enemies die, so that's very on par. And then Hecarim, which seems super strong at 6, summons 2 of these riders whenever he attacks. So he's a 4/6, then on attack spawns 2 3/2s every time. It's like crazy strong, I think. The best region for beginners, I would say that the starter decks, well, the thing is I am a beginner because I actually haven't finished the prologue. So maybe I should be playing with the starter decks because I could get so many goodies. I had the deny, right? We're opening a chest for the first time. Oh, so bright. So this is all just random stuff. This is just more of stuff that I already have. And shards. And we also got a champion bundle. Don't be Draven. Oh, another Jinx. And an epic wild card. So there's wild cards and shards. The champions have Freylord have noticed your commitment. Oh, because I've already crafted a lot of Freylord cards. Change. So here now we're actually going on to the progression. You can choose your region as to what you want to start unlocking. So I actually have unlocked all the Freylord cards I want. So I'm actually going to choose Noxus. So I'm going to be unlocking Noxus stuff. They all have their own like little packs and stuff like this. So you don't buy card packs ever. The only thing you buy, hold on. Is this how you do it? The only thing you buy in this game are coins. That's it. And coins will buy you wild cards so you can get the cards you want. That's it. So you're always buying what you want. And there's a starter bundle, and I'm not really sure what's in there because I don't have any coins. So that's just the way it is. And I think that they wrote a whole article about that. I think it's really interesting, the article. All right, so anyway, so now I'm on the Noxious Path. Oh, sorry, no, Freylord. I want to change the region. I thought I did that. Activate! What region goes with an Ezreal deck? Ooh, big Noxus. Loots.